He's never fought us. Not us united.
My favorite moment in the entire... Maybe I should complicate this before I start speaking here.
Welcome to Comics League. I'm Jared, and today we are talking about Batman, Joker, The Deadly Duo by Marc Silvestri. This was interesting because I remember when this was announced a couple of months ago, and Nick and I, who are big, Image Comics fans, we were all like, Silvestri's drawing Batman? So as I followed it, I was like, oh man, this art is amazing. And dude, I picked up this comic yesterday. I read through it tonight, and oh my gosh, this is amazing. We're going to go over the plot, and then I'm going to go over my favorite things about it, because the art is definitely like one of my favorite things about this comic. So let's get started. It opens up. We have Harley Quinn being interrogated by this masked being. She's like at the bottom of this chasm, and this dude is taunting her, and she goes, do you really think he'll come for you? And Harley's like, oh yes he will, and then he'll kill you, then we'll tear you apart, we'll make out for hours. Classic Harley stuff. And then Batman and Harvey Bullock are investigating this murder. Now the thing about this murder, that's gruesome as hell, and apparently the murderer jumped down an elevator shaft and apparently was fine. So this murder was torn apart, literally dismembered. They can't find the head. Now, this is significant because the murderer was seen, and the murderer was white-skinned, green hair, carrying a bowling ball. So instantly, everyone's like, okay, the Joker killed him. And that's actually what Batman indicates. Except, here's the thing. This particular person that was killed was a SWAT officer who got off a couple of shots, including a magnum to the killer's head. And he goes, okay, Joker's tough, but he can't survive a gun to the head. So Batman moves out after Bullock says, okay, there's something in progress involving this guy, so why don't we just move out? Batman jumps out the window and have this monologue talking about how Bullock and Gordon are some of the best cops in the city, and some of the only cops that Batman actually trusts. Now, what's interesting about this is there are a couple of cops that really don't trust Batman, like Blix. And what's kind of funny is Batman's diving, and then so typically he'll dive out the window and then pull up and then glide away with his cape. This time Batman takes like a couple more seconds, gets a little lower, and then pulls up, so the wind from his gliding will knock over this cop's toupee. It just looks so funny. And then Batman has the best line ever. He goes, and Dick says I don't have a sense of humor. So he moves out in the Batmobile. At the same time, we see Selena Kyle going, ooh, a storm's coming. Can I say, Silvestri's fantastic at drawing Gotham, because look at how great that looks with the bat signal that's kind of distorted as opposed to being a carbon copy of the symbol on Batman's chest. But look at how Silvestri gets the darkness of Gotham really, really well. That just looks incredible. So Batman finds the Joker. I'm doing air quotes because that's not the Joker. It's more like a Joker zombie. And what's cool about it is this dude is really powerful. So what Batman does is he throws essentially a bollard thing. It's actually a ballast. And what it is essentially this rope that fires and then it wraps around someone. And he goes, this is some of the strongest rope known to man. It's used in Gotham. It's designed by Wayne Aerospace to essentially be the rope that planes catch when they come in for a landing on an aircraft carrier. And then so Batman fires that and then ejects from the Batmobile and charges the dude. But the Joker breaks out of the rope and then gets into a fist fight with Batman, and he just thrashes Batman. Batman's like, oh my gosh, he's fast. I need to take this dude out fast. So he punches the dude in the jaw in an effort to not decapitate him, but incapacitate him. And Batman goes, I feel a bone break. Not his. In other words, his hand is getting messed up from this. Then what Batman does, which is really cool, is he fires this little tracking thing that embeds itself in the Joker zombie skin. And at the same time, the Batmobile deploys these bat drones that what they do is they follow him and then they just tase the heck out of the Joker zombie. And then Batman goes, "That's enough to take down any one of these is enough to take down like any type of individual. I use all of them." And then the Gotham PD shows up and asks Batman to stand down while they arrest the Joker. And they haven't even evacuated the zone because this guy could be wearing a bomb vest. Now the SWAT officer approaches the Joker thing and starts to cuff him up, but then he's pulled, but then the hand comes out, grabs his throat, kills him, and then the Joker zombie flies away. Well, it doesn't fly away. He goes through a wall, hits a gas line, and then explodes. Now the thing is that Batman was fast enough to save a lot of the civilians, not all of them. So some people got killed. At the same time, I mean, later on, Batman's in the Batcave, and here's Silvestri's Batcave because it looks really, really good. Oh my gosh, this looks great. And so he's having his hand tended to by Alfred, and he's going over like the crime scene, and he goes, essentially, what's interesting is so he goes, damage caused by law enforcement, by Batman and law enforcement is exactly what the Foundation was set up to do. So it's essentially, he's like, Batman has like a fund that what he does is that he pays for the damage to Gotham that comes from him being Batman. He goes, there's a reason the killer chose that particular escape route. And he goes, a computer, generate a map of the city, highlighting both crime scenes, calculate the distance between the two. And it's interesting, is they see it's like 3.2 miles away from one crime scene to another. And he goes, reanalyze the bone fragments in tissue sample. And it's kind of the same. So it's interesting how he goes, how is the DNA of both a dead transient and the Joker inside the body of an unstoppable man? So it turns out a dead guy's DNA and the Joker's DNA are both contained in the body of this dude that just wouldn't die. So Batman returns to the crime scene and finds like a box by the Joker that says, "Hey, come to this location." He shows up and finds the Joker, like the actual Joker. Batman ties him up, and then the Joker's basically like, well, first off, Gordon's missing at the same time. So Batman goes, "Where's Gordon? Where is he?" So at that point, the Joker says, "Okay, look, I'll help you. You have to help me deal with this, because trust me, it's going to affect you. So what do you say we work together? And we can even be called the Deadly Duo, not the Dynamic Duo, the Deadly Duo." Eventually, Batman realizes he has no choice, so he agrees to work with the Joker. And then the issue ends with about a bunch of Joker zombies staring at him. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And the rest of the book is just like inked pages by Silvestri, which look amazing. So story's great. I like the idea of I'm going to actually have I have a theory on this. What I think is going on is that someone's trying to clone the Joker as like some WMD thing. And it didn't work. They were trying to get the sadism of the Joker, or like the effectiveness of the Joker, but not the unpredictability. Hence, which is why the Joker's DNA is in someone. But it went awry, obviously. And it's kind of like, I think it's going to be kind of like a zombie virus where when the Joker zombie bites someone, they turn into the Joker zombie. So that'll be really cool. And I look forward to covering this series more on the channel, because I'm going to be covering this ongoing on the channel for the next however long this book comes out for. Now, what's interesting is that when you look at this, Silvestri knows how to draw a damn good Batman book. I mean, wow. What I like about it is that Silvestri's art style is very dark and gritty, and that works for Batman, absolutely, because you have like just this shot alone. Just look at that. It's like he gets the Batman's muscles and the cape fibers and just the dark look on Bruce's face, the shadows, everything looks great. I've already raved about his shot of Gotham with like the distorted bat signal, which I love so much. Even his Catwoman looks really good. And then I love his rendering of the Batcave, because you can see it's all very unclear. but it's very dark and again dark and gritty, which I love so much. I really dig this, particularly his Joker is very terrifying. I mean, look at that right there. So the art on this book is superb. Like I absolutely cannot like rave enough about how great this book is. Like completely, this is one of the best drawn Batman books of all time. And I think Silvestri is now my second favorite Batman artist of all time. Number one being Jason Fabok. Actually, number one being Jim Lee, number two being Fabok, number three being Silvestri. So I think that's a good list. So I hope to be covering this all, I believe, 6 books of this series. If that's something you guys want to see, I can definitely do that, depending on the views and everything. So watch this video if you want to see more of it. And in terms of content for the week, this Wednesday, I will most likely be covering Noctera Volume 2 because I just recently picked up a copy. And this Friday, we're going to be talking about just general news stuff. Maybe we'll play a game. And then on Saturday, we're going to be covering The Dark Knight by Christopher Nolan, his second Batman movie, and the introduction of Heath Ledger's iconic depiction of the Joker. So we have a great week of content waiting for you all. Stay heroic, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.